Thinking about now, these are 1 to 10 possibilities for the future. Well, the first thing I think is in a couple more years, people won't have babies anymore. They won't have offspring. You know, um, I think it'll be exchanged. Maybe we'll be all inside of a computer and a program. You know, or we won't need that. And or if that does, just with the way things are going, if that does continue, it won't be the natural way. People will send off. They'll be able to design their children and see what they look like even before they, even before it's, even being created. They'll be able to pick them in a computer, and at some point they might even have them, ready in a few days, like accelerated growth. Another thing, someday people might not even work because, it all goes back to like pleasure and stuff. And I think that will eventually eliminate pleasure or be able to balance pleasure. Like what about if you had an app on your phone that just made you happy all the time? Or it just kept you like, hey, I'm here. Now I know a bunch of these are unnatural things, but maybe in our lifetime, maybe not in our lifetime, but maybe by the year 2060, people will just order children and they'll be delivered to their house. Another thing, and I know this is all very unnatural, but it's just the stuff I think about. Another thing, one day people will just have clones. They'll back up all your brain data inside of, we'll call it the master cube, and they'll grow you a brand new body, and they'll reload your brain in there, and it'll be like you went to the doctor or whatever, or even like cell phones, I mean, what's to say life doesn't become like cell phones? Existence doesn't become that way, You could maybe one day be an app yourself inside of a program, inside of your own Google. You know what I mean? Now, I know we don't all agree with these things. Maybe none of us do, or some of us do. But I don't think we really have a choice. I just heard the other day that they're putting human flesh on endoskeletons, or whatever, skeletons, and they're like, no, it'll be different for us, and everybody's saying, no, dude, that's the Terminator. They'll kill us, but they're still pushing towards that. Whenever we get out there and we can go to different planets, we'll be able to spread, and the necessity of death, won't be so, great on our survival. Won't be so burdened by it, because we'll be able to put people all over the place. And money will probably be a thing of the past, and there'll be no such thing as greed. All those things will be eliminated. But yeah, I mean, it's just what's been going on in my head. I've been thinking about it because I try to think, what's the most craziest possibility of the human existence, of the way things are going, and a lot of times I come up with those ideals, and maybe based on movies or just the general ideal. If we're headed in this direction, don't be surprised if this is the result we get. Another thing, it might even be possible one day to be so advanced that we meet God before we even die, and all that. What about it? Whenever we were driven out of, Adam and Eve were driven out of the Garden of Eden, what about if we got back to whatever that was through all this evolution of, all these things, cars, that won't be here anymore, I mean, I just think if you're a program, you could just go somewhere instantly. I mean, it's not natural. I mean, it's natural in some sort of sense, but not in the common, traditionally taught sense. I don't know. Do you have any I mean, I hope it doesn't get that way. But we got these Terminators coming out, and you know what happens when Terminator gets here? Programs take over. We're already obsessed with cell phones. It's only a matter of time. But that's just the way it's going. It doesn't mean it has to be that way. But it's going to be some way. And it's probably not going to be the way we are now. Anyway, that's just some random thoughts. You know, that's just what I think about all the time. Or a lot of the time. What do you think? Do you have any future predictions? Things that won't be, or just the way people do things, you know? It being over? You know, I'd like to hear about them. What do you think?